You fixed everything. You like it? Yeah. Whoa!
G'day, Bandit Nav. Welcome YouTubers, subscribers, moto vloggers in general. Bandit Nav on Ruby. A lot of people have done a vlog on what motorbikes they've had in that over their time. So I'm going to try and do one for all you fellow vloggers out there. The first bike I had was a Honda CT90. It was called an ag bike, and that's the bike I learnt on how to ride and such. I needed something to get to work and all that sort of thing, so I bought that. That used to get me to work. I used to live in a fairly small country town, only about 1,200 people I think, roughly, and that was my first bike. That's the one I learnt on, that's the one I done my licence on. It's not much to look at, but it did the job. The second bike I had was a Yamaha 125cc 2-stroke trail type bike. It was a road bike as well. This particular bike I was talked into by a dealer to buy this particular bike. They said it would be a good bike to learn on. Being me, I only like road bikes, I don't really like trail bikes. Used to ride it just on the roads. I went for a trip one day and it blew a hole in the piston, and they said it was because I wasn't riding it the way I should be riding it, like you do on it in the dirt. But anyway, I sold that one, traded it in, and bought a 350 Honda Twin. This particular bike was a fairly good bike, but I wouldn't say it was great on trips. The vibrations were something shocking. We went on a trip from Renmark to Mount Gambier one Easter in 1973, and of course that's the bike I had, and it would have to be the most uncomfortable ride I've ever had. It was the first long trip, and it was the last long trip on that 350 Twin. I traded that in and bought a Honda CB504. Now this particular bike was a good bike. The only thing I could say that I didn't like about it is it had a clutch that was really hard to pull in. A very hard, firm clutch. Now I had that bike for a couple of years, and then I moved to Adelaide, back to Adelaide here. And as you do, you get married and you sort of go out of bikes or whatever, but I got sort of withdrawals, and what I decided to do was get a second-hand bike, and I bought a second-hand 354, about a 1974-75 model, 354 red one. Great little bike, and me and the missus at the time Enjoyed a few ride outs on that. One weekend, one Saturday night, it got stolen. So that was the end of that bike. To cut a long story short, it was recovered in a dam, and the people, or the young lads that pinched it for parts for their 400cc bike. I will continue on the way home. Stay tuned for the rest. Okay, continuing on from where I left off. A couple of hours for me, just a couple of seconds for you. Right, after the 354 Honda I had, I didn't ride for a few years, probably up until about 1980, 81, something like that. I got the withdrawals again, and I decided to buy a bike, and I bought another Honda CB 504, a gold one. Now, that bike was quite good. It was blowing smoke, but I knew that. I got it at a good price, and I had the rings done up in it, and it ended up being a good bike. I had that for about a year, and due to circumstances, I had to get rid of it. I had to sell it. So I sold that. Now, from about 1981-82 until now, well, not now, but 4 years ago, I hadn't ridden a bike. I always regretted never ever getting a Honda CB 754. I always wanted a Honda 754. I don't know why, but I did. So I started looking around for another bike after 30 odd years. I'd made my mind up. I wanted a Honda 754. Looking around, and there was a few around, and my budget was $4,000, and I ended up back in Renmark, where I spent my youthhood, and I had a look at the local bike shop there, and they had a 1998 Honda CB 754 black. I asked how much it was, and they said 4,000. I thought, well, that's well and truly in my range. So I bought it. Very good bike. Done 50,000 kilometres. According to the gauges, it done 50,000 kilometres. So I bought that one. I kept that for a couple of years. And I decided I wanted a bigger bike, and I didn't know what to get, so I did a bit of internet looking at reviews of different bikes, had a look at the reviews on the Suzuki Bandits, and no one had a bad word to say about them. So I made my mind up. I wanted a Suzuki Bandit, no older than a 2003 model, So I starts looking. I looked around, I found one that was second hand from somewhere in the country from a bloke, and I was interested in that because it was a fair price, fairly good price. I had a budget of 7,000, so I met him somewhere and I had a ride on it, and he wanted 5.5 for it, I think, but in the condition it was in, I wouldn't have given him that kind of money. Anyway, after a couple of months, I was looking and looking and looking, and I found one in a motorbike shop in Adelaide CBD. Builds motorcycles. So I catch the train, I go in there and have a look, and well, it was perfect. This is the bike I want. Oh, someone's got a camera on top of their head on there as well. So I decided, yeah, that's the bike I wanted. So I spoke to the sales lady, and I asked how much it was, and she said 7,000. I thought that was alright. That's my budget. And then she starts putting all this extra on, and it come to $8,000. And I said, well, you've just gone over my budget. I need all that for 7,000. So she said, oh look, just wait a minute and I'll go and talk to the boss. And of course come back, said, yeah, 7,000's fine, we can do it for that. So I said to her, look, I can't make my mind up here and now. I've got to have time to think about it. It's just me, I don't make snap decisions like this. Yep, that's alright, no problem. Now, what I'll do is, on the way home from my friend's place here, I will continue the story. It'll only be a few seconds or a couple of seconds for you guys, but I'll continue the story. I'll be right back. Okay, so continuing. I decided on this particular bike at Bill's Motorcycles, and I went to the motorbike shop where I go to now, and told the bloke, well, told the owner what was going on. He said, just whatever you do, don't buy it yet, leave it with me. I know those people there, because he's been in the industry for a long time. And later on that afternoon he got back to me, he said, I can get it for you for 6,200. And I said, no worries, I'll take it. And as it happened, it was quite lucky I got it for 6,200, because I had to spend around about $800 on it to get it up to scratch. What I mean by that is, it needed a new chain, new sprockets, it needed the choke lever here, the choke lever here was broken off, which I didn't know about, and of course Suzuki being Suzuki, you can't buy just the lever, you got to buy the whole thing. $270. So I had to buy that just to get the lever. So what I did is I put the lever in the old one here and kept the other one at home in the box, all stored away. So I got a whole new switch box here on the left hand handlebar. What else did I have to do? Oh yeah, the brakes on it. Every time you pulled up, the brakes would pulsate, and you know, it's I think you guys would know what I'm talking about. You put the brakes on and go, oh, like that, Pulse 8. So I had a look around for brake discs myself, and being a real eBayer, I had a look on eBay for brakes for this bike, front discs for this bike, and I wanted to get some floating discs, and I think they call them wavy discs, don't they? So I found some, and they were $200 for a pair, I think, $220 posted for a pair. So I bought them. Here in Australia they were double that, and probably come out the same bloody factory. So the discs were double that price. So I bought them. So that's the story of all the bikes. I think that's all I had to do with it. Look at that dude with the shorts and singlet on. Imagine him coming off. So I had to spend another $800. So I actually got the bike for $700 or $7,000, which was my budget, which was good. Looks like something's happened up here. Not sure what's happened up here, but something's happened. Some sort of accident probably. There's always something happening around here. The train lights are going. Not sure. I should have gone home another way. Or is it because the train signals are going and the boom gates are up? I don't know. Stay tuned. I'll keep it on, see what's happening. It could be further up the road too. God, this is going to be a pain in the ass to get home if this is blocked up. A real pain in the ass. Can I go up there? No.
Take care of the boom gate, okay?
Thanks very much. Oh, he let me through. You got to be lucky sometimes, don't you? You got to be. I might be able to get up here. Do I reckon? No, I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to get up here. So that was interesting. Go motocrossing on the signals. It looks like they're jammed there for some reason. I reckon they've jammed before there. Well, that was exciting, fellow vloggers. So Bandit Nev on the bike after an eventful day. Or eventful time just then, getting around the boom gates of the railway crossing. Bandit Nev on the bike saying cheers for the moment, and I'll catch you all again soon.